Hey guys, and welcome to season 4 of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and in this season, we get to remember and reminisce back in time with some of our guests like...
Hey, we are Entity,
and you're listening to
the Us People podcast
with Savia Rocks.
Peace, my name is Oni. I'm a producer-engineer from Queens, New York.
Hi, my name is James Green. I'm a TV presenter, sports reporter and journalist.
Hi, this is Joy Langley, and I'm the author of Navigating Stress.
Hey, this is Travis Glossop. I am a creative radio producer for Kiss FM, and you're listening to the Us People podcast with Savia Rocks.
We highlight the strengths of our cultures, talking about diversity and inclusion, and speaking out loud and proud about who we are.
I was never that good. I was determined. I had a love for the sport, and that always fueled me.
At 49, I was seven years post-divorce after 22 years and 3 kids of a marriage. And so I knew that I needed to figure out what was happening for me and why was this such a severe sort of crack in my identity and how I showed up in the world.
It's great. I'm glad, because I'll be honest, I didn't really work that hard at uni, so it was good to leave uni and really get on it, really because I also, as a person, I think I value productivity. A lot of people live to work. I think I am one of the work to live guys, but because my work is amazing, that's all right with me. So as a person, I go to bed happy when I've had a productive day.
We've also saved the best till last by honouring another artist and showcasing their talent as our new theme song, with none other than your host, Savia Rocks, featuring in their song. So guys, enjoy, stay creative, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Paul Kenneth. I'm the first black player for Chelsea Football Club, and you're listening to the Us People podcast with Savia Rocks. Make sure you listen. Catch up.
Peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. I protect my energy and peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Yes People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I am abundantly humbled to have Paul Canoville here with me. He is a former professional football player. He is also the first black Chelsea player. Paul, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on the Yes People podcast. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, and it's a pleasure, obviously, to share what I have to share with you, Savia. And Savia, I got already. So that's relaxed. I am relaxed.
He is actually. He's proper relaxed. I love it. So, Paul, my first question for you is, could you tell me a bit about yourself, but also where you grew up, but more importantly, how that influenced you to be the person who you are today?
Good question, everyone. Born in Southhall and Middlesex, from the parents of Eugene Richardson and my dad, Vernon Canoville. We have one sister, June, 1 year younger than me. But growing up in Southhall, Middlesex, there was Dominicans, there were Jamaicans, and a lot of the Haitians. And it was always a case of generally a community that went to church, as you know, Church of England. And it was me and those friends or other related people, let's say, in the church, because Mum had to take us to church every Sunday. You can imagine, as a young kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Who didn't want to go to church, but had to put the school uniform on and ting and the tie and make your way. And then I became an altar boy and carrying the incense down in the church service and got, I'm confirmed, yes, I'm Christian and all that. Well, you never Christian, you're baptized in it, so not even baptized, you had to be Christian to be baptized, but the church was very important, obviously, for my parent, my mum, and it became important to me because I still have the belief of the man above. And don't get me wrong, growing up in Southhall it was great. Loved it. It was for me going into junior school, infant school. I really kind of remember it as where we went to school, because where we lived at Cherry Avenue, we went to this school that was in Hanger Lane, and which was really far. So we had to get up earlier than it was to meet the coach. And I remember this incident that happened that Mum used to get us up, make breakfast, and then she used to shoot off to go work. And me and June then would make our way to go and meet the coach, which usually was about 8 o'clock. And one time I thought we was late. And when we went to meet the coach, we didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing for 10, 15 minutes. I thought, oh my gosh, we're late. And one of the things, you've been late for school now, you're not even worrying about school, you're worrying about your mum, you know what I mean? That's the one weapon there you don't want to mess with. So I decided, look, let's start to walk. So if you can imagine, if you know where Southhall Middlesex is, to walking all the way to Hanger Lane from 8 o'clock in the morning, we reached at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Whoa.
They had sent out the police for us, everything, yeah. And I remembered the route from where the coach took. That's how it was. I'm a person that you only have to show me once. I remember it. And I took the route and we walked. And we reached there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And as I said, they had the police searching out for us and so forth. I might then really didn't help because I think my sister then got her asthma because of that walk as such. But yeah, I think that's when they made the decision that we got into a school that was nearer to us. And that was in Beaconsfield Infant School. Loved the school, don't get me wrong, enjoyed, but I was always into my football. And that was the main thing. I think at the age of 5, I knew exactly what I wanted to be, I wanted to do. Coming back from, a black family or just a Caribbean background family, they want you to have your education first, as how they drill that into you.
Yeah.
But I didn't pay too much to that or too attention to that, to be honest. Football was everything to me, all sports. So with that, I used to go into school, every sports I was involved in and so forth. I remember back in the day, we had a black and white TV. And it's one of those 50 pence coin one, then one day when the TV come out, you had the 50 pence and thing, it just come out. So that's used to punch. You know what? Because you can record that.
Yeah, I can do that. Go on.
Just pull the thing. I'm telling you, pull the thing. Just pull it. No, there, from there. Just pull that piece, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. You can go out. It's a magnetic. I'm telling you, pull the tick. Sorry. I love it. You know when you're recording, but you can edit any answer.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. That was too funny.
Going like this and I said, pull the thing. It's magnetic. You know what I mean? That's why I opened the door just so fresh air can go. But she knows how to go and come back in it. So,
yeah, she's all right.
Anyway, Wales, yeah. So I remember that, like the 50 pence, the TV used to be operated by 50 pence, obviously, when it ran out, you know what I mean? You had to make sure your mum had a 50 pence or not.
Yeah.
But the reason I was playing football, it was watching a certain team called Leeds United, and they was in white shirts and, just white shorts and white socks. So it was easy to focus on tell you what they wore, the colour they wore. And that was the team I supported growing up. Generally, from the infield, I was then starting to play from my own age, and the others, I was playing in the older age groups, from the age of like 8, 10, going up. I always played in the older groups. That was what you call grassroots, because I was able to take tackles and so forth, and I was quick as well to avoid tackles. But for me, yeah, growing up Southhall, it was a learning curve, because obviously a tough time for black families in Southhall, because obviously the national front that was going on in the skinheads, and really was, for us, the family, our community, was the church. And I have to say, because I have the picture right there, to see it at the side, Father Morgan kind of looked out for us black families. When we went to church, he was the one that arranged the first coach to take us all to the seaside. We'd never been at the seaside, so he arranged that. And that is a day out. You can imagine on a Saturday meeting the coach and your mum preparing all the fried baked chicken and everything. As a kid,
it make my mouth water.
Trust me. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Won't forget him, because those trips like Margate and Lambton, he took us collecting to the seaside. And as young kids, never seen that kind of the seaside at all, you know what I mean, to be honest. So, yeah, I remember Southhall very well. Very well.
I love that. I totally love that. So let's get a little deeper into who you are, Paul. So can you define who you are as a person, but also who do you see when you look in the mirror? But on the flip side of that question, has there ever been a time where you have looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? How did you manage to go from not recognizing your own reflection in the mirror to coming back and being the person who you are today?
You know what? I wouldn't really had realised that. I didn't know what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do at the time. I say a footballer, but I think being that because my mum and dad separated when I was 1, so I didn't have a male figure around at that time. So it was pretty difficult for a young boy, you know what I mean, who needed that male figure or needed an older brother. And you've got 2 girls, my mum and my sister around, you know what I mean? So our mum was very protective. We didn't go out as much. We weren't allowed out, you know what I mean, for the safety. So we never kind of knew what was going on, as we call it, streetwise.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we was. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I never knew about Bob Marley or Dennis Brown and Peter Tosh and all them. I knew about David Essex, you know what I mean? That's Top the Pops and so forth, and Elvis Presley. And it was a case of when you got your mum and she made sure that you did your chores, you know. And, you know what I mean, the hoover, the washing up the dishes. And you could understand it now as you grow up, because it's the independence. For my mum to now show me what to do, that when the time come, when I leave home now, I was able to do that. If I was to be single, I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Like she showed me how to cook when I was 12 years old. So looking in the mirror, I wouldn't have known at the time who I was or what I wanted to be. I was, at that time, a follower. I can remember it of the Lamb. I used to follow boys because I was the youngest out of that group. And it wasn't a group of, you know what I mean, gang. It was a group of boys that was just got together. But I was the youngest, you know what I mean? And yes, when it got up to meeting women, I was the shy one and so forth and going into the clubs. But I stood up when it was sports.
Yeah.
And I remember times, you know what I mean, getting up to no good and so forth. And at that age, boys doing little, you know, burglaries and little stupidness that I always wanted to go, but they kept me away.
Yeah.
And the reason why they kept me away, and they said, Paul, man, you got one thing that's better than us, and you got a talent in football. You don't want to spoil that. So they told me, make sure they kept me away from, you know what I mean? But I insisted. I remember one time I insisted, man, come on, I'm coming. And I did this stupidness. It was break into this shop, electrical shop. And one time, the first time ever, like me and this other guy, and when we done it, we had to hide. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, yep, we're just gelling with the people going into work. But the police found us. Well, they found me. Didn't do, you know what I mean? And got caught. Went to court, and with that, I thought, you know, I mean, judge would have been lenient and give me local community sentence, but no, he sent me down to Borstal. So that was a wake-up call for me. You can imagine I left school then from the age of 14, and the reason why, because the word bunked off.
Yes.
People know. Bunked off nearly half a term. Didn't even realise the whole quarter of that term I didn't go to school. Like, Mum got us up for school, but as soon as she went, I went back to bed. And when I went back to bed, I used to go in school about 12 o'clock just in time for dinner and catch. And it was a case of, Paul, why are you away? And you give him that excuse, I had to go dentist, sorry, man. Show us the note, and, you know, I mean, you think, let them forget it. But they sent a note home to my mum, boy. I kept looking for that letter.
Try and get to the door before she does.
Before she got that note. The school wanted me to come in. What is it? I must have been good, Mum. When she went to that school, boy, and the headmaster, never forget it. He said, look, the reason why you're in here is because Paul's not been for half term in school. She said, you must be joking. I get up my son and my daughter to get up to go to school. Yeah, but Paul's not been coming. She looked at me with disgust. I remember that day. She said, I don't know what, I can't believe it. So they telling her at the time it don't make sense him taking the exams because he's not been here long enough.
Yeah.
So that was that. Walking all the way back, boy, you know how your parents are. They don't care wherever they are, on the street or at somebody's house. She will put up her hand and give you some licks. And I think it was that time where I must have thought, yeah, let me just hold her. And I'm not fighting with her, but they think, oh, you're fighting me? And I'm just holding, protecting myself, and I was holding her hand. You know what I mean? You ain't hitting me on the street, not with people walking in. No, man. I said, yeah, you think you're bad. And it was hurtful because I understood by that time I didn't understand what she was trying to say. I'm on my own, trying to help you, bringing this, bringing that, fighting this, and this is what you're doing. And you know what I mean? As a kid, you think, get on with it. And you go on, I had to walk home. You got home and you realise, boy, I'm expelled from school. I don't need to go to school, so now I can sleep in bed. Who tell me that? I remember it. Mum get out one day, went to got out, made breakfast, boom, 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 said, get up. You know what? And she made me dress. And 2, I had to come at the same time that she come out. So there I was on the road.
There you go.
And you can imagine a 14-year-old on the road, it's cold, and you've got nothing to do because you can't go to school. So that was a learning lesson right there. I had to go and find a job, find a work. And yeah, that was my wake-up call, to be honest. But the wake-up call was the ball stool. I didn't like being locked up. It wasn't nice. Under orders, following the mannerism that was in the dorm. When I say dorm, to ball stool, when you call other kids.
Yeah.
And you think, I mean, you've got it bad, but there was kids that had it worse. And you realise when you heard their story and you think, oh my God, I wouldn't go there. But, I think the screws in there saw the talent that I had as well. I mean, I had a game where I joined the football team in there, and it was a Sunday we played and we won 10-0.
Whoa.
And I scored 9 of the goals. And I remember the screw telling me, man, you're good. You're really good. Why don't you go to Chelsea for a trial? And I was thinking, who the hell is Chelsea? Nothing to it. But my object was to get out of this place. And I remember writing to a manager that I used to play for, Gordon Bennett, just had his name in my head, and I just forgot it now. And I remember writing in, and I must have came out that time when he did eventually write a letter, but I came out, and it was a case of, you know what, I had a second mother. I call her a second mum because she was like an aunt, but a mum to me that always gave me advice.
Yeah.
And it's the advice that she said, I made me listen, to be honest. That Paul, now you've given everything, you've tried everything else. It's now to be doing it properly. You
Exactly.
need to find some work, and you need to take your football serious. And that was it. When I did, I came out, went back to living with mum and her new boyfriend. Well, just to become husband, I didn't really get on. But yeah, I took my football serious, playing non-league for London Borough. And it started there because I remember the manager brought me straight into the youth team, and we had a final, and quite a few of the parents were upset that I came straight in. And they made that point and said, look, what's going on? Why is he playing instead of my kid? And the manager told him straight, because he's that effing good.
There you go.
If you don't like it, you know what to do. And with that, boy, next thing, 16, I was into the first team. And I couldn't play with the youth team. I couldn't believe, can I not? And he said, no, you're in the first team now. They want to. So remember that, trying Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm living in Slough, having to get to West Drayton. And you can imagine a young kid, it was frightening as well, because West Drayton was known for racism down there, National Front. So a young black kid coming off the station, looking left and right to make sure he's all right, getting to Hillen Borough, which is about 20 minutes away. It was all right, don't get me wrong, but I was still having trouble at home with my mum's boyfriend. I remember I must have had a great game. I came back Saturday early, and incident happened. The man come at me telling me about I took up his food, and I was like, what? I don't need to do that. I'm now working, I can buy my own food, there's no need. So I'm telling he's giving me his mouth and I'm giving him his cheek, and I said, look man, enough is enough, don't even bother with that, just check out your own son. But he didn't want to hear that. Next thing I know, he's thrown me out.
What?
And yeah, it was worse than that, because knife came out and everything, what? Trust me. But he threw me out now. The young boy is homeless. Yeah, I was homeless. And I didn't tell Mum, she was working. So when she came back, she didn't know, she just thought I left.
Yeah.
Didn't know nothing, he never said nothing. So there I was sleeping next door in my neighbour, who's a black guy, in his car, Jaguar, that he had parked in the back in the shed. And I was sleeping in that. Nobody knew I was. So for those two, I was sleeping in there, and the only time I could get a shower was when I went football.
Yeah.
Tuesday and Thursday. So weeks went on. Nobody knew that I was homeless. They thought, obviously, I'm dying to go to football so I can get that shower. And it was only a time when one of the players, like, they come up to me, Paul, is it all right? Have a chat? I said, yeah. The lad's a bit concerned. I mean, you come in and you're smelling the BO yours. And boy, that was so embarrassing that I opened up and told him that I'm homeless. He said, you what? Why didn't you say anything? I said, no, man, that's pride.
Yeah.
And my manager at the time saying, one of the boys, the guy who was getting me out from Borstal, and I just told him, and he was so shocked, he was upset that I never told him, because I could have come and stayed by him. And, it was one of those that I was staying. My mum's sister had left the house as well. She got pregnant, she was young, 18, and lived in her mother's home, and they didn't allow men in there. So I used to sneak in the window just to sleep on her floor, and then had to sneak out early in the morning to come out. Yeah, I'd never forget that. And that's what I realised about working. That's what I do now as well for the homelessness, that I understand how it is for those now on the road, no matter what they are, old men, women, young kids today. And I find it's just, upsetting, because the government that does so much for other organisations, I think should do a lot more for the homeless. There's too many of them on the street. As dangerous as it is, the cold weather that we've just had, boy, I know how I felt. And even knowing had to find food, where that was coming from. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was lucky to, have a sister that was there, could provide, and I can go. But it's not nice even to think about it, because of my pride. I wasn't begging on the street. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather go and starve if that was the case. Yeah, all that was going. So football, going to it, football. And I think eventually, at that time, the first team manager, because boy, I was playing with these boots that were, I don't even know the supermarket them time. Back then, they were called Woolworths. Woolworths is a brand that for black families, boy, you lived in Woolworths. Woolworths had everything, school shirts, school pants.
The pick and mix out, and that was cool.
So I had Winfield boots, right? £15. £15 is a lot of money back then when your mother spent for that.
That's true.
And your mother said, if you don't want to play football still, you have to make sure you polish your boot, clean your boot. Because back in there, you just put, when you finish, you throw it in the cupboard. But when you throw it and it dry up, it split. So I had to clean them. So when they see the boots, they said, man, my manager told me to meet him at a sports shop. It's called Steve Perriman. Steve Perriman used to play for Tottenham at the time. So I went down West Drayton and met him at the shop. He said, yeah, go and find yourself a pair of boots. Take them. I went, yeah. I thought, as a black man, don't take liberties. But he said, yeah, I looked at a pair of boots, but it was cheap. So I bought the boots at the top cheap. He said, what are you doing? I said, you told me to get boots. He said, look, get a decent pair of boots. Boy, he didn't have to tell me twice. But I was looking at Adidas and Puma Kings, and you're talking about a boot that was 75, nearly, £60, which back then, days 1980, no, 79.
Wow.
Was a lot of money. Trust me. But he was lovely boots. And I remember when I went in, I was in the car thinking, he told me to take them, but he bought these boots. That was the best thing for me. When I played, it was like, you couldn't stop me, couldn't drop me. So there I was in grassroots. For me, busted in the first team, young 18-year-old. Now I'm going to trials. I went trials, West Brom, Southampton, Wimbledon. And Chelsea came in. And with Chelsea, it was a case of, back then, nobody says nothing to you. You go in there, nobody says, Paul, you're doing well, how you getting on? Nobody shares anything, their views. You think, what's that all mean? You think, for me, it was a case, I just didn't think I was good enough. So I remember all that time I'd gone in South Chelsea, still never said nothing. The whole week I was there, nobody said nothing. So to come back thinking, no, I'm not good enough, back at England, Southern League, sit. But Chelsea came back. And I'm still looking at myself, don't get me wrong, because I'm thinking, I was doubting myself. And that's when the doubt came in, thinking, everybody kept saying to you, you're good, you're good. But you still doubt, because it was so hard and difficult at that time, in that period, because we knew white friends that were playing, because their family knew somebody in the connection to the football side. Yeah. That's how they got in.
Okay.
But we didn't have that. Our mums know about football. My dad never know about football. My mum and dad never even come and see me play football. That's how bad. No, never came and see me play football. So we never had that kind of balance at all. And when we saw some of the white guys that we knew we were better than them, it hurt. It did hurt. So inside I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not good enough. Simple. But Chelsea came back saying, yeah, we're interested. Don't get me wrong. What happened? So nobody said, no, we are interested. So I came back. Remember it well, because I was still trying to play safe. Yeah. Like, not do anything wrong, you know what I mean? But they wanted to see me, like you asked, the real me. Exactly. And what I do. And I remember it was the boy Graham Wilkins, which was brother the late Ray Wilkins, that used to be a player down at Chelsea. And he was the right back at Chelsea at the time. And he showed me, Paul, man, they don't want to see that. They want you to see me, take me on. Take me on. And boy, I was like, you sure? And I knew what I could do, but like, I didn't want to, thinking, boy, if I shoot that, I'm going to make it silly, you know. So I went, I dropped the shoulder, I went past him, knocked the ball, whoop. And with that, I stopped my confidence, started build up. And I went, and it was the last Friday, and that's when they called me in the office. And the late John Neal, manager, said, look, like what we see, we're going to give you a contract for 7 months and for the remainder of the season, and it's up to you to show us to renew it. So I had 7 months to prove myself. I mean, for me, signing a contract was a dream that I've always wanted, and that was to be a professional footballer. You got to imagine how I felt. Don't get me wrong, what I went through, what I went back, trying to prove to people how, you know what I mean, that I will turn out to be somebody or something, you know what I mean? Because that's when you're growing up and your school teacher tell you you'll never turn out to be anything.
Oh, I've heard that.
You know what I mean? So many times, and you think, you believe it. Why wouldn't they? I never went to school. I left without any qualifications. What am I going to turn out to be?
I've learned that the people who don't go into education, it sounds really crazy to say this, the people who go into education usually end up working for the people who didn't go to school.
There you go. And this is what I see now, because fast forward, like working, being a TA, teacher assistant, and this is after obviously joining Chelsea, because I really went fast forward. And the same thing you just said there, those teachers never get through to the kids. And they went away and qualified to be teachers. Me as a TA that had the kids, talking to them, to their level, to my level, and understanding how important their education, they were listening to me.
There's a level of understanding that which is more spiritual in connecting with people. The same way when we were out and you were connecting with the kids. They were listening to you. They were excited. They said things to you and you're like, I love kids. Because kids have an honesty in them.
You know what? I love the way they are, because it was when coming back, joining, obviously playing through the season or for the 4 years or 5 years at Chelsea, and talk about how I had to retire. But working with the school was the greatest thing. I mean, first greatest thing in my life was my kids, obviously, football second, and just working with these kids, realising now what I had missed, I didn't want them to miss out with. So it was such a joy, and I ain't gonna lie, because that happened at Chelsea, because working with the Chelsea Foundation, that they wanted to hear my story and told me about to go out to schools to share it with them. And I thought, but these kids, they weren't even born when I was playing.
Exactly.
But they are so bright and so forward and ask questions that I would never even ask questions when I was at school. So this is the change that we're seeing now with these kids, right? So, how that all came about. 2 years, it was good, great, Chelsea. And the 7 months, we survived, because, we was in the second division, but we survived. And, we really did survive from the bottom. And I remember last game was against Bolton or somebody that we needed a win, and we won 1-0. That was it. Second division, we stayed. Next season, manager got some new players, and don't get me wrong, it was unbelievable how everybody gelled for that following season. That we went on and won the Premier. No, not Premier. It was Division 2, not even Premier. We won Division 2 to be in Division 1. And that's obviously how I think really where they are now because of us. And that was in 84. And things, don't get me wrong, was great. I think I started to get stubborn, because where now I looked at myself and said, you know what, I think I deserve something more. I do enough for the team. I work hard for the team. But, it's that you're not getting, as a black player, what everybody else is getting. And I find that, like, why am I sub? I deserve to be in the first 11. So I was getting an attitude, and you know what I mean, I didn't like it. And at one incident, we was at pre-season, and I didn't like how this assistant was talking to one of the young black boys, and I thought, oh, you tried to embarrass him. No, I'm not having that. So I mimicked him. We went back, mimicked him, and he pulled me up. And he said, do we have a problem? I said, we do. Because everybody had their hands in their pocket. It was cold.
Yeah.
But you picked the one little young black boy and started shouting at him. Why is that? Oh, I didn't know. Come on, you didn't. You looked at it. Everybody had their hand. You picked it. It was embarrassing. So he tried to apologise. Nah, it's not good enough. So with that thing, the attitude I had, I think I was being looked at then. But an incident happened. One of the teammates, because we had a curfew. It's a case that when we train, you were allowed out wherever you wanted to, chill out until 9 o'clock. You had to come back. 9 o'clock, these players, I used to stay with the youth players there at the time and talk with them, give them encouragement to look, when you get the chance, you know what to do. And this time we heard a little noise outside the window. We looked for 3 ex-players, 3 first-team players, should I say, were coming in late. It was about 11 o'clock, and when the assistant called them, he was getting my right rollicking. And once he finished, I was at the window. I said, boys, you got told off there, didn't you? So with that, one of the players looked at me and said, shut up, you nigger.
What?
I was, what? And he called me a black C, and I went, nah, you know what? I know you're drunk. Go and sleep that off. And I can't shut up, you nigger. Nah, enough is enough. He told me, come down here, you're black. I said, wait there, I'm coming. And I know the boys, they said, Paul, don't do it, please don't. I said, nah, enough is enough, bruv. I ain't taking none of that shit no more. I went down, I said, say it again. Before he said it, I just, regrettably, I knocked him out. That, you know what, in the morning, he's going to sleep that off and he's going to realise what he done.
Yeah.
And with that, club should know, exactly what happened. So I thought, boom, going. It was our last day in this dormitory down in Wales. We were having breakfast, and I remember I had my back when the players, youth players, said, "Paul, you ain't gonna guess what? That boy's coming back again." I said, "Don't worry about that. I'll knock him out again." No, he's got a golf club. What? I said, nah. So he said, "Look, just tell me where he's there. Just tell me when there." When he told me, I just had to turn around. I blocked. The golf club was coming at me with the tray. And I was about to hold him again. And when I held him, I was literally going mad. I think I kind of shocked my teammates because they never... I'm not saying I'm a coconut, but, I was always like, "Yeah, all right, you're all right, let's, yeah. Boy, them hit some cuss word out to me, boy. Like one of them said, "Is that Paul?" Oh my gosh. Like, and your mother so cold. I was going on a way. They never know. "Is that Paul? What's wrong with him?" No, seriously, they was going. I said, "Man, I was letting off, you see. I'll take all of your mothers. Hey!" I was going on mad, trust me. But anyway, I could be driven back. I remember by the physio, Norman Meadows, bless him. And he drove me back in his car all the way from Wales back to London. And this player now went back in the coach with the rest of it. I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought Monday come, that we both got to go into the manager and talk what happened.
Yeah.
Talk this out. But before I know it, man, I got this call. I'm the manager at the time, because John Neil was ill. The person who took over, I won't even mention his name, phoned me and told me, "Paul, yeah, how you doing?" I'm thinking, "Yeah, I'm all right, cool." I'm waiting for him to say, "Come in and let's have a word with the manager." But he told me straight, he said, "Don't come to the training ground." Okay. And don't come turn up at the Stamford Bridge. All right. I think, young boy, time out. Didn't think nothing else. I thought, all right, when they're ready, they'll tell me to come in. Then before now, I got another phone call. So, "Paul, you fancy going down to Millwall?" I went, "You what?" Now, Millwall had the same reputation, or similar, or bad, worse for their fans of Chelsea with regard to racism. And I couldn't say, "Are you taking the pee?" And I started to talk to that insistent. I said, "Get off my phone." And that was when I realised that I'd been bombed out.
Yeah.
Nobody had heard my story. I had been turned out. So you can imagine at that time it was hurtful. I didn't do anything wrong, but yes, because a person racially abused me. But I got blamed for it. And I didn't think anything. I just wanted to play. I was a young boy, I just wanted to play football. I didn't take it. I didn't go to no media. I didn't go to no newspaper. I just wanted to play football. And I could have done that. If I wanted, I could have made a hoo-ha, a big hoo-ha. But that weren't my game. That was, for me, it was just to play football. So that was my story. I ended up at Reading. And don't get me wrong, nice community, lovely set of lads. Manager told me straight, "Paul, you're an investment."
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. First season, we'll sell you off. Because it was a case, I remember they told me that Man U came for me whilst I was at Chelsea, but Chelsea wouldn't sell me there. It's simple as that. Yeah, come on, you're going to sell him to their enemy? Nah. So it was Chelsea. Reading was great that season. Or should I say, start the season. We was winning games, and I think they had to find out the way I played my football, because that lump and kick up field and chase, I couldn't play that. So they had to change it, play to my feet to get the best out of me, and they did that. And we was winning games, seriously. And the incident happened, one tackle, which took me out.
I remember you saying this.
And it took me out, probably didn't even feel it, dislocated after the days of the right knee, and didn't feel a thing whilst on the pitch until you went off and you realise your foot's trapped and it started to throb with pain, and when you're being put to sleep and now woken up and you're in a cast fully from the thigh to the ankles and being told that you don't think you'll be able to continue being a professional footballer. That in itself, I thought, nah, I know he's not telling the truth here. I wouldn't accept that. If so much was going on. Because at that time when he's telling me, I'm listening to my mum now, telling me about Paul, take your education serious and this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? If I can't play football, I don't know what to do. I was thinking all this, everything was going on me, and I was thinking, nah, man, this can't work. So I remember for that whole year, rehabilitation, riding bikes, having people on my back, trying to strengthen the knee, and thinking, oh, eventually I played a game where I was sub and I came on, like protecting that right foot, using everything on my left, until one ball came to the right. I couldn't adjust my body, and I went in now thinking, this is either it or not. And the tackle happened, and ooh, the right foot took it, right? And I said, yeah. I thought, yeah, man, that's good. But boy, after that couple of days, it ballooned up. I've never seen a knee just swollen up. That's when the club made the decision that we're not going to renew your contract. It's up to you whether you want to retire now or just wait till the end of your contract. It was making decisions, just, I meant retire there and then. And you're in your prime, because I'm 25, which is your prime year.
Yeah.
So that was a difficult one for me, but so much things was going on. It was like I needed to share something, and I think because the relationship I had with my mum, we never opened up, we never talked, never shared a problem. Even from school days, if we had, you know what I mean, we never said nothing at all. And it was a case of a fear factor, because what she said, you had to go and do. And what she said was like, if there's anything situation, it stays in these four walls, which was in the house.
Yeah.
You never told nobody about it. And like, when people, you met me on the street, Paul, how you doing, man? You're right. You don't look too... I never said nothing. I said, yeah, I'm all right. I was fake. But I wasn't. And I wanted to talk, I wanted to share, but I was frightened of her, what she'd say and what, if she heard. So with that value, that's what was going on with me. And I remember so well, said, like, everything, I never opened up at all. Everything was not a lie, but it was just in denial, just telling people, yeah, I'm great. Oh, no, that was good. It wasn't good. I didn't like it, but I didn't want the argument. So I always agreed with everything, and not thinking or not realising you don't have to agree on anything. If you don't like it and dislike it, people say.
Exactly.
But with me, it wasn't. I never was brought up. I never knew that at all. You know what I mean? You had your own mouth, and so I just was quiet. Led to a lot of things, to be honest. But Mum, as much as she was, I can understand what it was for her bringing up two kids on her own. How difficult it was. You're coming from the Caribbean. You've come over here to better yourself. She wanted to be a nurse, but then she got pregnant at the early age as well, and had just two kids, and Dad, you know what I mean, goes off. So, as you said, you don't realise that when you're kids, what the difficulties they go through until you realise, wow, I understand now. And Mum understands now that we didn't communicate. We didn't open that, because she apologises now, and oh no, we've cried together. There was an incident where there was a documentary. Ian Wright was presenting it, and it was on Tulloon. It showed individuals, that what they went through at the time, and they showed me as well. And Mum saw it, and she made a phone call. Oh my God, why did you not tell me? I never knew you was going through that.
See?
And then we was both crying on the phone. I've never done that. She said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I never heard you. You know what I mean? I never asked you how you feel. That was just me. And I realised, because I've been to the Caribbean when Mum took us, and that was the first thing Mum did. When me and Mum's sister was 15, she was 14, she took us to the Caribbean to meet our grandparents. And my dad took me to Dominique, and I met them just before they passed. And you saw the life of what the Caribbean, how they live. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you, I went somewhere and I thought, oh my God, Mum, why did you leave here? I would have preferred to be living here. But if you didn't, you would have met my dad, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have been here. But to see the way the Caribbean life is like, it's tough, but I think it was what I needed. I needed that discipline. And they don't joke down there. That's why Granddad didn't joke when he just said something and look and give you that look. Mum's got like 9 brothers, man, and she had 6 sisters. Trust me, don't play. They were there. I just said, nah, man. And I was imagining, had discipline, I was good at football, so I could have been in the French national team. So, things I look up and see, you know what I mean? I did. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because when I went there, I was so good. I played beach football on the beach, and I was just training with these guys. And man said to me, "No, man, you're good. Would you like to train our national team, young boys?" And I went, "What? Nah, sorry, man, you're joking." And this time I'm missing England, like my school kids, my school friends. Nah, I'm joking. But thinking about it, you don't know. You look at that now, you think, cool, Paul, what have I did? You know what I mean? Or given that opportunity. But a lot of things was going through my mind, to be honest. Growing up, definitely. I think my sister played a major part because she was like my mum as well as a sister.
Yeah.
Because I kind of talked with her mostly. Situations that came up. What do you think, June? She said, "Nah, if you're not happy, Paul, don't do it." I said, "Yeah, I think so, So forth, you know what I mean? And back then, you got to understand, I didn't have no agent and nothing like that at all.
Yeah.
The decision, you make it yourself. And obviously, I think they knew that. They would know that by asking you, "Here, what we're offering you, this is a great deal." And you think, okay, it is. But did I have anybody that could talk to show me that? No. So you go and sign that until you realise, no, man, I'm better than this.
Yeah, exactly.
I deserve that. And if that individual can get so, I know I'm better than him. So here what? But when you start asking now, you kind of disrespect you. And that's what I found out when the old regime at Chelsea, when the old manager, no, not the manager, chairman, to be honest, I didn't like him. But he's the one that didn't want to give me what I wanted. So that's why I found out, I was kind of closed off Chelsea and so forth.
Talk to me about your mental health with everything, because that's a really important part, because I know that you went through an addiction stage. I know also that you had cancer too. And I know these were at different points in your life. Talk to me about, first of all, what you went through with the addiction, and then we'll get on to you having cancer.
Well, that happened after football. And don't get me wrong, at the same time, I love music. And it's music when I used to go out and parties and then turn kind of DJ, because a couple of boys friends that we got together made a sound, and I just loved that. For me, was my chill out after playing football. Yeah. Saturday, play out or go to the party. Sunday, rest up, back at training. But having not to be able to play professional football is now finding a 9 to 5. Because now I have the mortgage, I still got bills to pay. But at that same time, I didn't want to be inside office. I couldn't work that. So driving, I enjoyed driving. I found a driving job, delivery job, and it was for Group 4, I believe it was. And it was like an early thing that I'd pick up, start about 5 o'clock, finish at 4. Yeah. But 2 I was still doing the nightlife, that going out still and coming back in at 3 in the morning when you got to get up in about an hour. So you can imagine that started. Then it was like, "No, man, I don't fancy going in." Phone up, make that excuse you're ill, come in the next day. But that one incident, I was in a party and spliff was passed to me, and I smoked the spliff, but I noticed that this spliff wasn't the same spliff like weed. And I asked the guy, "What is this, man?" And he told me, "What you call was crack." And I went, "What? I don't..." I expected some reaction. I was really scared. I was expecting what's going on. But it chilled me. And I was like, wow, it wasn't as bad as everybody said it was. So you continue taking it and so forth till it got to my extent that I started buying it, and that's when it develops that addiction, because now you're buying it, you want it, and you rely on it. And it kept making me just forget everything. Yeah. Forget all my problems, get all my bills, but they were still there. Once you finish, that was the craving now, because you want more. Now I'm going into my bank account, I'm just draining it out. And it was like, boy, borrowing from family members, but they didn't know nothing. And said, "Yeah, don't worry, next week I'll give it back." And then you realise you're not having next week, so you're avoiding them. Poor, I'm staying in my yard. Why am I staying in my house? I don't want to be seen outside. I'm going to fear factor, like, I don't even want to talk to anybody. And that's what this drug made you do. You know what I mean? So there I was thinking I'm all right, but I wasn't all right. I was in denial. I was an addict. Nobody knew nothing but just my sister. She didn't say nothing, but then she had to eventually tell my mum. And my mum didn't understand, well, what is that? I said, no, mum, it's a drug. So why would he waste his money on that? I said, no, mum, you don't know. So she couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then I said, nah, this is not me, because I'm usually the life of the party. When I go out, I'm a joke, and I'm not joking. It's too serious. And I noticed that a reaction by talking with people, I used to get upset so easy, and it made arguments. And I think, you realize, well, that wasn't an argument, Paul. I only asked you, I would just change up the whole spectrum of my whole mood swings, and that was going on there. You know what? I needed to sort this out. And it was all right, people telling you, Paul, I can help you, I'll help you, but it had to be you
wants to help
yourself.
Yes.
So I went in rehab, and that was like the pride of going in the 2 weeks of detox, having that first, and yet and going in to group meetings, and it's like being talked down to that, and I thought, who do you think you're talking to? But this is the process that you got to take. And I said, you know what? Be calm, Paul. Be calm. Anyway, 2 weeks detox, went and got myself into a rehab. I think I should have come out of London, but I stayed in London, and I remember it's like when I had friends that came round, I should have gone out, because seeing those same people, or similar, you know, I mean, it wasn't a good thing for me. And I remember distinctly that in the process that you mentioned, that we had a counsellor. Now, I was thinking, counsellor? No, mate, I ain't sharing nothing of my business with nobody. And I remember I went down, was it Tuesday? Counsellor's down there. I said, okay. So I sit down there, that's me and you, just across each other, and the man, white guy. I said, oh, okay. Hi. I said, yep, hi. He said, so why are you here? I beg your pardon? It's a drug rehab. What do you think I'm here for? I was like, nah, brother, this could not be asking me stupidness. So I had to tell him, man, right now, you don't understand where I'm coming from. You don't understand my roots. This is totally rubbish. I'm coming out of this. He said, look, if you leave this group now, they will throw you out the whole of them.
Yeah.
So I just said, well, me and you ain't going to chat. I'm going to be honest. I'm sitting right here. Well, that's up to you. And I sat there for the whole hour. We didn't say nothing. I just watched the time. I said, thank you. And I got up. But I got up and I went straight to the office. I said, look, I'm not racist, but if I'm going to have a counsellor, you need to get a black guy for me. Yeah? He needs to know where I'm coming from, my background. He needs to know. Simple that. Following week, I got one. I thought, here we go. Ready for this man now. So, yeah, how you doing? I'm Paul. Yeah, how you doing? So why are you here? Are you fucking real too? You asking me this shit? Look, but then he just switched. He said, look, what is your problem? Hold on a minute. Do you have a problem with your mum? What? How dare you mention my mum? Then he hit me, boy.
Yeah.
Then he said, your kids. You understand you got 10 kids, huh? What? And this man hit me good. Because now I said, whoa. I started opening up. I do have a problem with my mum. And I do have a problem with the kids. You know what I mean? I showed them so much, but I never had the love that I had for my dad. And I know it's difficult that if I'm not there for them and I don't open, oh man, let me tell you something. I couldn't stop talking. He made me talk and open up, where I had a whole heap of weight on my shoulders, and it was like it was being released. Every time I saw him, I couldn't wait to see the guy. I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I said, Paul, how you feeling? You know what? I really had a good communication with my children's mum for the very first time, and I shared with her how I was feeling, and we couldn't believe it. That's now why we get on, because I just didn't take anything. So like, any argument, I used to walk away, because I don't like argument. I didn't like that. So I walked away, and when I walked away, I met somebody else. When I met somebody else, I come back, and it was like, that's the reason why I think why I had so many kids. But yeah, he made me learn a lot about myself, man. And denial that I was in, the argument, the mood swing. And to today, that I never forget it. because it helped me to do what I'm doing now, where I'm sharing, and I talk to schools, talk to people. I've talked to 500 people on stage, where because of that, I wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, don't get me wrong, I still get nervous, but once I open up, can't stop me. And it's because of that. So I looked at that, and that really did help me a great deal. Looked inside of things and shared. I was able to open up and share how I felt. But before, I wouldn't. I would keep shut. So with that, I was doing that rehab, and doing well. It's like going back to school and so forth and helping out. Don't get me wrong, that you had to do chores in there. I didn't mind. Lived, cooked for food. I love cooking. So I was cooking for the whole house. They're like, what? Food to go on. But don't get me wrong, I saw when you were taking advantage of somebody I didn't like. And I would say my piece. And an argument happened. And they said, they thought, Paul, we thought there was nothing wrong with you because you were so calm. But now we understand. I said, no, man, I don't like that. And I was cursing. But anyway, they saw that. And it was cool, talked about it. But then 2 weeks, I was literally being woken up at 2 o'clock sharp in the night, in the morning, with pain.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 o'clock, and literally sweat was coming off me. All in my bed was wet, right? And this was every day. And I didn't know what was going on, thinking, I got a pain. Did I pull something? I know what of lie. I was taking Nurofen like it was like sweets. I was giving myself an ulcer. That's what was happening. For 2 weeks, I couldn't take the pain no more. Now, with that, you have to have permission to leave the building to say, look, I need to see the doctor. And so you have to write it down and they'd give you permission. Yep, go, Paul. So I went to see the doctor. But this time now, I've been there for a period of time that I now can go by myself. Because at first, you couldn't. You had to have somebody, escorted with you. But I went to the doctor and I went to the doctor, look, doc, I've got this pain, I have these sweats, 2 weeks going on. I get up every morning and I'm sweating, the bed's wet. And he said, what? He said, wait there, ring, do you have the bed available? Yeah, now, he's coming. He's coming? Who's coming? You got to go to hospital now. What are you talking about? You need to go to hospital now. Where is it you went? He had to phone up and tell them, look, he's telling me to go to hospital. He said, okay, get down there. Had a bed ready, signing this paper. What am I signing for? Still not telling me what's happened. And so the boy, I had the operation and told me, when the RC came, the doctor came and he said, Mr. Canoville, you had Hodgkinson. What's that? Cancer. What are you talking about, man? I just retired from football. Nah, man, I'm fit. So no, you did. Glands they had to take out from my groin from here. And, what? I still didn't understand that. He said, yeah, it happens in between when men are in between the ages of 35 and 40 that they get this Hodgkinson. What? Still didn't, just didn't come over that how I could get this. All I know, I was still playing semi-pro football when I came out. Yeah. And I noticed that I wasn't able to do what I normally do. And when I felt like I could knock the ball and go past, I couldn't get that energy. And I thought, I didn't still think, I'm thinking, all right, Paul, did you got that injury? You know what I mean? I didn't think nothing. So and they said, yeah, you got it. What you're going to have is chemo and some radiotherapy. Same time. Well, chemo, it's in the drip. Takes for 2 hours, so 3 hours that you have. Now, symptoms from that, your immune system would be low.
Yeah.
So you'd be prone to catching colds quite easily. So, yeah, right. And your hair will drop out. What? Nah. Joking. Just, so you imagine now, I was stayed by Mum. Mum was getting married and she said, can't, have to cancel that now because I've got to look after my son. And I had to stay by her. And I remember, boy, it was like, I was getting cold. No, I was staying by my son's mum. Yeah, son Pierre's mum, Maria. I remember I was there. And one time, I remember the first time I was looking. Yeah, I was looking. That was it. I went in every time I had a shower, and I was like, every hair in my body, I was investigating to make sure it was still there, you know what I mean? Everything. I checked every piece of hair on my body and it was still there. Until one time I had a bath and I was washing the hair and it came out in clumps.
Wow.
And babes, I'm never going to lie to you, that frightened me. It literally, I just went like that and it pulled and it came out. And I was like, oh my God. And I can't go out like this. And I was really, big man crying. And I put on his hat and I got dressed and I got creamed up and I went and phoned Myers, my barber's at the time. Myers, can I come in? Can you see me now? He said, yeah, come, quick. Jamaica. And then I got in and I was sitting down. Nobody was there because it was early in the week. And I took off my hat and he said, Paul, what's wrong? I said, I got cancer. Why you never tell me? I said, no, I didn't tell nobody. And I never told nobody. Nobody didn't know. All they saw was a skinny bit because the chemo, it took the weight off me, right? People were thinking I had AIDS. That's what the gossip was there. I had AIDS. They didn't know I had. So my two sound boys that I had to call them, I said, look, I need to talk to you. I said, I've got cancer. Oh, why you never told us, man? And like, people were telling them, boy, Paul's got AIDS, you know? And like, no, it's cancer, bro. So it's a case of, I used to go home, stay there because I didn't want to be seen. And now, a person that had hair on his head and now was being bald, I've never seen myself, so I was like, oh no. And I remember one time I was sleeping, I woke up and I had this cold and a runny nose and thing. And I thought, let me take my mum's remedy, just honey and lemon, you know, I got and paracetamol mixed up and thing. For a week and a half, the cold never left me. I was like, what the? Next thing I woke up, I was paralyzed. All I could move was just my head. I couldn't move my feet, my arm, and I was telling my mirror, I think something was wrong, you know. Mirror said, stop joking, Paul. You know, no, seriously, mirror, I can't move my body. And I was like, something's not right. I said, I don't think I'm there, going in and out now. And she's found the ambulance, said, look, can he make his way? You can't hear, he's paralyzed, get here now. And they got me down there. And I mean, it's Whittington Hospital. Yeah, all the way from Stoke Newton, I had to go to Whittington Hospital. And I must have arrived just in time because I was going in and out of coma. Yeah, it was that bad. I got in there and they vitalised me or whatever. And the nurse, because I remember it was the nurse, it was my specialist that was looking after me at that time. And no woman has been able to curse me beside my mother. Yeah, let me tell you the truth. But this woman let me know, how dare you? I told you the symptoms with you and your immune system. Why would you take that long to get me? I told you as soon as you get cold, come straight in. And she cussed me. I was like, and I couldn't say nothing because she was right. And I went, bro, it's really killing me off, you know. And I ain't gonna lie. And the only way is because you know why? She supported Chelsea, you know. That's the reason why I let her do that. I'm telling you, anybody I would say, holy man, who are you talking to? But she told me, and I had to be real about that. And that was the nearest time when I really understood this thing is not a joke, Paul. It's cancer.
Guys, we're going to leave it there on this episode of the Us People podcast. If you would like to hear the second part of Paul's interview, please tune in next week where you can hear the rest of Paul's story, which I'm so excited for you guys to be able to listen to. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and please remember you can join us and listen on any platform of your choice, on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and again, any platform that you prefer listening to. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also donate to the Us People podcast by simply going to the Savia Rocks website or just typing in paypal.me/Us People podcast, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another.
Peace of mind, gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. I protect my energy and peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. Peace of mind, peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. I protect my energy and peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. Peace of mind, peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace. peace of mind. I protect my energy and peace of mind. Gotta keep my energy and peace of mind. Peace of mind, peace of mind.
People say that having a peace of mind is trying to find a consistency of calmness within ourselves, to crave for a clarity that drives us through our emotional journey of life, to never let a person's judgment manifest into a fear inside of us, learning to believe in our ability to shine through the darkest moments and tunnels when we cannot see the light. Patience being our light for forgiveness and strength, to believe in our destiny. If you want real peace of mind, one needs to stop fighting their inner thoughts and embrace them with love, because love is the most amazing and beautiful strength that we have to conquer our peace of mind. Make your thoughts impact a nation by keeping them true and honest, especially to yourself, but make your peace of mind protect you when you don't have strength to embrace anything else. Find your peace of mind by listening to your heart.
I had a whole heap of weight on my shoulders, and it was like it was being released. Every time I saw him, I couldn't wait to see the guy. I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I said, Paul, how you feeling? You know what? I really had a good communication with my children's mum for the very first time, and I shared with her how I was feeling, and we couldn't believe it. But, yeah, he made me learn a lot about myself, man. And denial that I was in, the argument, the mood swing, and to today, that I never forget it, because it helped me to do what I'm doing now, where I'm sharing, and I talk to schools, talk to people. I've talked to 500 people on stage, where because of that, I wouldn't have been able to. And I'm telling you, don't get me wrong, I'm still getting nervous, but once I open up, can't stop me. And it's because of that. So I looked at that, and that really did help me a great deal. Looked inside of things and shared. I was able to open up and share how I felt. But before, I wouldn't. I would keep shut.